Well, hey readers, it is Andrea. I am sporting my Ravenclaw hoodie today and a Ravenclaw bracelet, but I will not be talking about Harry Potter because although I have stayed clear of spoilers for 17 years of my life, I saw one the other day, or heard one, however you want to put it, and I will not be relaying this spoiler just in case you have not read Harry Potter. I don't want to spoil it for anybody else. But today I will be doing the Goodreads tag, which I found at, I have a handy dandy notebook with my tags and everything on it. I found this tag at Life in a Book on YouTube. I can find her channel and link it down below. Hers was the most recent one that I saw. Other ones were kind of old, so yeah, I hope that this is still entertaining to everybody. I personally like doing tags. I think it's fun and I want this channel to be fun for me. Obviously, especially right now because it's not like I have a huge following to appease, but even if I did, I'd still do it for me. And I want to just say thank you for everyone who watches me and who subscribes to me, because every little single one of you means a lot to me because I put a lot of work into this channel. And I'm just glad for the few people who get to watch it. So the first question is, what was the last book you marked as read? And the last book I marked as read is Dear Nobody, the true story of the true diary of Mary Rose, which is not focusing, which is edited by Gillian McCain and Legs McNeil. This is a story, actually selections from about 600 pages of Mary Rose's diary. She was a real person, around my age, 16, 17, I believe. And she suffered from cystic fibrosis, she suffered with addiction, and she also went through rape. So there's some trigger warnings for you in there. But it's a really good read. Her mother, I believe, published this. And it's interesting to read. I believe I rated this 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads just because I find it very hard to rate someone's true diary. That's their true feelings. That's how their point of view is. And there's not really much to criticize there. But I really like it. I think if you ever come across this, it's a good thing to pick up and try to get through. It's a very, very quick read. And yeah, that's all. I will get to my rating system later, just as a heads up. The next question is, what am I currently reading? And I'm currently reading 4 books, as I usually do. The first book is Christine by Stephen King. I am only on chapter 6. I'm on chapter 8. I'm on chapter 8. I'm really enjoying it so far. It is about a kid named Arnie who gets a car named Christine, and if I have my plot line right, eventually the car becomes murderous, or makes Arnie become murderous. And that's it. That's the plot. I've never seen the movie. Obviously, I haven't read the book before, but I'm enjoying it a lot so far. Next book I'm reading is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, which is year 5. As I already said, I'm not overly interested in finishing the series anymore, but I'm determined to. I've made it this far type of thing, and I would feel like a fake fan if I walked around in Ravenclaw merch and didn't finish the books or the movies. So basically in this book, I am not very far either. I haven't actually picked this up in a while to read. I'm on chapter 15, and we're back at Hogwarts. And Harry, over the summer, had used magic again, so he had to go on trial at the ministry, and he got through that, and now they're back at Hogwarts, and honestly, other than that, I don't really remember what's happening because I haven't picked it up in so long. But there's also the Order of the Phoenix, obviously that's in the title, that is tracking Voldemort and seeing where he's at, what he's doing, and how they can stop him. That was the big part that I was forgetting. The next book I'm currently reading is The Help by Catherine Stockett. This is a 1962 Jackson, Mississippi book. It didn't come out in 1962. It just takes place in 1962 Jackson, Mississippi, and centers on the African American help who are helping the nice white ladies. And this one white woman named Skeeter decides that she's going to publish a book relaying the true stories of the help, and they have to do it in secret, and it just kind of follows that. I'm in the middle of a chapter, couldn't tell you what chapter, chapter 12. I really, really like it. Between this and Christine, they're the ones that I'm starting to really plow through. But definitely pick this up. I'm not done with it, but I highly recommend it. And the last book I'm currently reading has stuff on it. And it is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Dark Artifices series, which takes place some years after the Mortal Instruments series ends. and it follows Emma and Julian and all of the other kids and Mark Blackthorne. And Emma's parents were murdered, as you remember, back in the Mortal Instruments, and they talk about that in the beginning of this. And she's going to solve the mystery of why her parents were murdered. So there's that. Also dealing with some other stuff, but that's the main plot of it. Okay, next question is, what was the last book you marked as to be read? And the last book I marked as to be read will be Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. Every time I get a new book, I add it to my want to read list on Goodreads, and I just recently got this. And I probably won't read it until at least I'm done with The Dark Artifices, but I'm very excited to read it. And if I wasn't already reading 4 books, I already would have picked this up. And the next question is, what do you plan to read next? I don't have huge plans to read anything next, especially because all the books I'm reading right now are huge. But after The Help, I'm probably going to pick up this book, which is The Book of Unknown Americans by Christina Henriquez. I hope I'm saying that right. I got this as a book award from Mount Holyoke College last year and never read it. It follows, I'll read the back to you before I mess up the plot. After 15-year-old Maribel sustains a terrible injury, the only hope her family sees for her recovery lies in the United States. Leaving a comfortable life behind in Mexico, the Riveras risk everything to come north. It's not long after they settle that Mayor Toro, the son of one of their new neighbors, recognizes a kind spirit in his beautiful, damaged outsider. So it's a love story. It deals with immigration. I'm excited to read it. It's very, very short, and the font is pretty big. So that is, if I plan on reading anything next, it's going to be this. I also have some books at my dad's house. I'm at my mom's right now. At my dad's house that I plan on reading soon. So that's it for like the physical books, which I just threw on my bed. The next question is if I've used the star rating system, and I literally wrote down how I use it. But 1 star means that I really disliked it. Sometimes 1 star borders on hating a book. But I rarely give 1 stars, usually because I can't make it through the book. 2 stars is, it was kind of boring. I didn't really like it, but it wasn't the worst thing I read. It might have had some problematic points. It might just not have been my cup of tea. But, you know, I liked it enough that I probably could have finished it. 3 stars is kind of neutral, or at least good in the sense of like, it's okay. It had nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't the greatest thing I ever read. That's usually what 3 stars are. 4 stars are, I really liked it. There might have been a few things that I didn't like. I read it in a timely manner. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. And 5 stars I am starting to reserve for my all-time favorite books, the books that really are emotional for me. I can relate to the plot. I liked the idea of it. There wasn't too much that was problematic in it. So that's my rating system. I've never actually talked about that on this channel, so that's something new. The next question is, are you doing a 2020 reading challenge? Yes, and I feel like I'm failing miserably with it. According to Goodreads, I am 12 books behind on my 75 book reading challenge. But I'm hoping after these big books that I'm reading, I'll be able to get through some smaller books that might not take as much time to read. So I can like get that number up. But I'm not going to purposely pick up books that I could read like that to add. I just feel like when I read my bigger books, it puts me behind because I'm less likely to read through them quickly. The next question is, do you have a wish list? I don't on Goodreads. I have one on Amazon. What book do you plan on buying next? I don't plan on buying anything next, although on Monday or Tuesday I should be figuring out what we're reading next for AP English. And I know a lot of times you could find classics online, but if I feel the need to physically buy the book, I might do that. So, next question is, do you have any favorite quotes? Would you like to share a few? I have one that I really love. I love a lot of quotes from the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare, but the one I went with is, it was books that made me feel that perhaps I wasn't completely alone, and the character William Herondale said that. And it's just one of my favorite quotes because, honestly, I can relate to it a lot, and I just really like it. I could have picked quotes from The Perks of Being a Wallflower too. I just didn't. So, who are my favorite authors? I like Cassandra Clare. Probably my favorite author of all time is Cassandra Clare. I own all of her books, and I will share this. I didn't pull it out earlier, but I have this book that I found, and it's steampunk. It's an anthology of fantastically rich and strange stories, and it actually has a story by Cassandra Clare in it. Don't remember how I found this, but I have it. The only things that I don't have by her are all of the Iron Child books, and believe me, I will someday. I own 3 copies of City of Bones. She makes me want to write. She makes me want to read. I am in love with her characters. I can recognize some of the like faults in her books and recognize why people don't like them, but I love them, and I've loved them for 5 or 6 years. So there's that. My other favorite authors include R.L. Stine, who was a favorite author when I was a child and really made me want to be a writer. So even if I don't enjoy his books as much as I used to, I think he'll always hold a special place in my heart. Stephen King, who I was hesitant to put on this list because sometimes I don't like the way he writes women or children or little girls. It can be kind of creepy, but I like his writing style in general. I like the way he uses profanity. It isn't harsh at most times. And the way he writes horror is just really good, so I like him for that. Plus my grandmother really loves him. Shout out to Grammy. So he'll have a special place in my heart because of that too. And the last author I put on my list is John Green. Just because if I think of young adult fiction, I automatically think of John Green, and every book I pick up by him, I really like. So, those are my favorite authors. Second to last question is, have you joined any groups? And I said no, but when I read that question, I was like, you can join groups on Goodreads, and I checked it out, and you definitely can join groups on Goodreads. So I'm really interested in doing that. I'm just afraid that my phone is gonna blow up with messages, and I know we're in a time of self-quarantine and nothing's really open, but I don't know, I still busy myself. I still do laundry, I still clean, I still read and write, and I don't want my phone blowing up with notifications. And the last question are there any questions that I'd like to add? And I just want to say, no, I don't. But if you have any questions for me, please feel free to comment below. That's just a fake bug outside my window. Ooh, that was gross. You comment them below. I'll also include my social tag, so if you want to message me on any of those and ask me anything yourself, then that's fine. If you comment though, I will be able to respond. It's not like I'm getting bombarded with things. So yeah, if you have any questions for me, it could be about books, it could be about myself, anything that you'd like to know about me, as long as it isn't too revealing or personal, I'll answer your question. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And my social tag, which I'll put down below, but it is @ReadWithAndrea, which I could probably put up on here if I actually want to take the time to do it. And that is on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Snapchat, and Goodreads. My tag is @ReadWithAndrea, just like it is on here. And I will tag Life in a Book in my description below if you want to check out her channel. And I'll put the Goodreads tag link that I found also in the description below. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope I can get this uploaded sooner than later, unlike last time where I uploaded it a little bit late. But thank you for all your support, and I will see you soon. Bye!